Love is wonderful, magical, and often life-altering. It can make it feel as though your world is filled with stars and fairy dust. Love can make you feel as though you can conquer the world, change the world, and make all things new. Love is wonderful. But if you've chosen to love others instead of yourself, or you're putting the needs of others before yourself or before you take care of yourself, not only are you in danger of burning yourself out, but you're also contributing to the world's energetic imbalance. So, the world you were trying to save is being hurt by your self-negligence. Your loving intentions are well-meaning, but if the love you share doesn't include love for self, you're headed for a worldwide disaster. Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, here with you on Angel Heart Radio. And if you're ready to discover how you can change the world without sacrificing yourself, stay with me. And when we come back, we're going to examine how to love, honor, and cherish yourself.
Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools for transformation, positivity, joy, and hope. They should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio, where we celebrate you. We celebrate your divine connection. We celebrate your magnificence. We celebrate you as a beautiful being here on planet Earth, sharing your love and your light. We are so blessed to have amazing hosts here on Angel Heart Radio. We fan your seeds of hope and we help you to plant more. AngelHeartRadio.com is our station and AngelLight777.com is our big sister. All the links, the series, host information, how to visit us, and really how to receive the best from Angel Heart Radio, and a whole lot more besides. Thank you for choosing to be with us on Angel Heart Radio. We're so grateful to share with you. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com.
And we're back, and with us is a caller. And before I bring the caller on, I just want to remind you that today we are looking at self-love. So all of you healers and empaths, this is for you. Caller from 310. How can we help you today? Can you hear us? 310. Okay. Well, for some reason, if you want to speak with me, or call it. Now we can hear you. Go ahead. All right, there seems to be some problem. If you would like to speak to me, just go ahead and call back in. For those of you who would like to call in, our call-in number is 714-583-6858, or you can call in at 347-202-2032. Let me try it one more time. 310, are you able to share with us now? Okay, we're not able to hear you. So if you would like to speak with me, please hang up and call back in again, and we'll try it again. Remember that number, 347-202-2032. Now, really important that all of you healers really take what I'm going to share with you quite seriously. I was the number one offender of this when I first started my practice, way back when. It was really hard for me to understand that I had value. I could see that the service that I was offering had value. I could see that people were getting tremendous benefit, but it was extremely difficult for me to be able to honor myself and receive something for this incredible service that I was able to share. My thought process went along the lines of, well, I'm tapping into the energetic realm and they're really doing the work. They're providing the information. They're giving me the insight. I'm just the microphone, the mouthpiece for them, or the conduit. And it made it really, really difficult for me to see my own value. So today, I want you to understand how incredibly valuable and important you really are. It cannot be done without you. And something else that is extremely valuable that we're going to look at as we continue through today's presentation. When we say we have to give away everything free, and believe me, I know if you're a healer and you are letting people know that you have this interest and this ability or this desire to help them find the healing that exists within themselves and tap into it so that they can find that place of love and joy and freedom that is so incredibly powerful. If you are putting it out there, you are probably also hearing things like, well, you're a healer. You should give it away for free. Now, certainly that was the land that I used to live in. I tried giving everything away for free. And I was able to help a couple of people because, of course, I still had to work a full-time job. I still had bills and all of the living expenses that you have. Now, it took me quite a while to get to the place where I could feel comfortable and settled in what I was able to offer. If you want to begin sharing what you're able to do with people to get experience and to feel more comfortable, then absolutely offer your services for no or low cost. But if you are looking at it as, I really don't deserve anything for this, or I have to help everyone and most people will not be able to pay and it's not fair to keep it from people who cannot pay, you're devaluing yourself and your service, and you are completely annihilating them by putting out into the universe that they are not able to pay for services, to care for themselves, or to rise up. You're not helping them move to the higher place of love, joy, and peace. You're helping them stay in that negative place that says, yeah, you know what, I just can't make it. I've tried, but it's really just too hard for me. Encourage everyone to join you in the high place of love, joy, and peace. If they are unable to honor you with cash, I am sure they have a service, something that they do well, that they can give you in exchange. Please stop devaluing the people that you're trying to help by assuming they have nothing to offer. You have an incredible gift, and they have an incredible gift. Let us love, honor, and cherish ourselves, and from the overflow, allow that to go forward and love, honor, and cherish others. Please stop trying to give from the empty well of self. I have heard from so many healers, I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. I've burnt myself out. I can't do anymore. Well, if you walk it back, because as I told you, that was me in the early days of my practice, I think I quit 3 different times. It was me doing it by myself. Yes, I had my guides and they would give me the information, but and they would certainly bring the healing through me. But I never allowed them to actually support me. I felt that it was my responsibility to do it all on myself by myself. They were my helpers, but if I was going to help people, I needed to help people. I couldn't get helped in return. And I quit 3 different occasions. So what happened? I helped a handful of people, burnt to a crisp, quit, did something else. I've now taken my healing energy out of the world. There is now no one doing the work that I was doing because I, just like you, am the only person who can do it just the way that I do it. So I took my work out of the world. And I tried again. Lasted a little bit longer. Maybe this time I was able to help 2 handfuls of people. Again, I was still learning that I was an important part of this puzzle. Didn't quite have that completely, wasn't completely comfortable in my mind, and burnt out. Maybe I lasted, 2 years, I don't know how long, and had to take a break again. Now, during this entire time, I'm learning, I'm studying, I haven't walked away from my spiritual journey. I'm just not understanding how I can completely exhaust myself helping others and somehow keep going because I'm still not comfortable charging the amount that I can live off of, so I have to keep working and support my family. And, I've gotten myself in a big ball of mess. And I keep taking from the world that which I have come to offer. So instead of being the healer that I came here to be, I needed to run away from my life purpose and from my calling and from the healing work that I agreed to do because I was confused about how to receive. Now I'm in a balanced place and I understand I have incredible value. You have incredible value. I cannot give away what I do, and you need to give something in return because the most important thing is balance. If I am keeping you in a state of imbalance by insisting that you're never going to be able to rise up to the place where you can pay for services, I've just kept you an infant in diapers. And that's on me. If I'm unable to see that I have value, then I truly am not stepping up and honoring all that I have brought to share. Sorry, couldn't figure out why that sounded weird. All that I have brought to share. Each one of us has brought a fabulous, wonderful gift to share. Let's get busy giving and receiving. Be in balance. Otherwise, you will take yourself out of the world. You'll be unable to continue, and all that good that you did will be no more. We need you, but we need you healthy. So, it's time for each person to fall in love. But please, not in the outward direction of society. With yourself, with that incredible being that you are. And before you tell me you don't know what I've done, let me counter with something. You don't know what I've done either. I've made so many mistakes. I have fallen face first in the mud. And if I stayed in the mud, I could never have allowed this work to come forward. Get up, wash yourself off, keep going. We need you. Fall in love with all of you. We are indeed ushering in a new world order. You can feel it with each lunar cycle. It gets even more powerful. The veil is getting thinner and thinner. It's easier and easier to access the energetic realm. We are bringing in the energy of unconditional love, but we're not going to be able to do it if you have been sidelined because of exhaustion. And we're also not going to be doing it as one great event or revolution or cataclysmic change. It's not going to be a volcano eruption, a tsunami, and a hurricane, and whoop, everybody's wiped off and we got to start again. Let's please step out of the fear that ego likes to run around in and step into our place of divine connection and understand who our Creator really is. Now, the divine can only be who they are. They will not step into the illusionary products that we are able to create with ego. So, the divine can only be unconditional love. So when you look at something that appears out of order and you wonder why God is punishing you or punishing them or appearing to cause hurt or pain, know that you're not seeing correctly, that you are using ego eyes to see what only can be seen through the eyes of love. So let us rest in the understanding that the New World Order will not come all at once. It will not sweep us up and force us to be something that we don't want to be. It will come as it has already started to come, one person at a time, waking up, getting frustrated, realizing the life they're living isn't working for them, and beginning to search. First, we begin our searches outward. We always look outward because we see with these physical eyes and we think, oh gosh, my life stinks. It's not working. What can I do to make it better? And so we begin searching through society. Well, my neighbor has this, or social media shows me this, or wherever. We begin searching and generally we come up empty until we begin looking inside. What is this pain? What is this hurt, this fear, this discouragement, this depression? What is it that is making me feel as though I just don't belong here, or I'm so uncomfortable here, or that there's more that I could be doing? That's how we change the world, by each person beginning to come to the end of the journey of awareness of the physical world only and beginning to wake up to the fact that there is a whole nother realm that they may not have acknowledged. Now, with each person that wakens to the love that is pouring forth, the next person has an easier time of it. So if you were an early awakener, if you are one of the ones that is one of the first to be part of this, then hooray for you. You are an amazing being. Now, what you need to understand is that what you are doing as you do this is you are creating a pathway, you are creating a way for others to come behind you and have an easier journey. Your love, the love that you bring, brings love first to yourself and then allows love to overflow onto all others. And it creates a beautiful, harmonious balance where all who are willing are receiving and sharing love. Now, here's what we need to remember: those who are willing, no one can force you, no one can make you do anything. So it's your choice and it's their choice. You're never going to have to force anyone, and that's not your job. But we do have to remember that we can never give from an empty cup. So always be sure that you are functioning in a state of balance. You desire to give. That's a beautiful thing. You intend to give. Again, that's a beautiful thing. However, as long as your cup remains empty, you have nothing to give. So please let go of the guilt. Let go of the fear that you're not good enough or that you have nothing to share. And be the being of such brilliance that you allow your cup to runneth over with love, and then you share freely from that overflow. It is so important that you are filled first. If in your eagerness to share, you get really excited about what you have to give, please remember, you cannot devalue others by refusing to see that they have value and you have value. Now we have a caller from 831. Hi there.
Hello. Hi.
How can I help you today?
Well, I really love the title of the show, and also that you're Angel Heart Radio, and it says here, love, honor, and cherish yourself. And I'm just clicking on because I was like, oh, I see it. I want to listen in. What kind of questions are we allowed to ask, or is it strictly on the topic?
Well, it's better if we stay on topic just so we make sure that everybody really understands. But I want you to honor your heart. It's so important. One of the ways that we can love ourselves is by allowing ourselves to participate in self-healing and self-loving exercises. So as long as the question honors your heart, then we're on topic.
Okay, perfect, because that's when I read this topic. Right now what I'm going through is going through a divorce, and in this process I've discovered that the little girl inside was pretty much locked up into an attic, sat in the corner, and cobwebs and dust on her, and I had no voice and was enduring unspeakable cruelty, which I know in truth is only a cry out for love for those who are abusing me, but that I need to really fall in love with myself and have a love affair with myself and nurture myself, and really do what it is that I love. And I'm praying. I woke up. I'm hoping for some insight. I was asleep. It was at 5 in the morning. My phones are being worked on. I've been stalked. I've been house broken into by my soon-to-be ex-husband. I've been horrifically slandered and harassed. It's really, I'm scared now that it's going to be physical, but I'll set that aside. I asked for help in a prayer to wake up because my phones are being worked on to get any tracking off of it and whatnot, and I'm in an enormous amount of grief because I was lied to and discovered that if I would have listened to my inner voice, I would have known he was cheating. I would have known he was burning through family finances, and the list goes on. So I'm sleeping, and I want to heal, and I see this butterfly. It's light blue with, on the rims of the wings, are a darker blue, real dark blue, so the contrast is there. It was so pretty. It gently floated down, and I heard these words, and I got up and I wrote it down as softly as well, I have it right here. I don't want to say it wrong. I'll read it because I don't want to say it shocked me, and I thought, ooh, when I get stuff like this, I'm going to, here it goes. Like a butterfly, just as a butterfly lands and softly comes down, that's what I'm writing. You said softly comes down, but I'm brainstorming around what I heard. Each teardrop will be a story. And then the next night, which was really, it made a lot of sense to me, was that I said, I'm going to have to find out where I put it. I'm a little shocked that I don't have it here, but oh yeah, it says the truth feels as if I've been bit by a snake, and the venom is surging throughout my veins, and I've got to cut it out with a knife and suck out and spit the venom out. Writing represents this for me, just the poison of someone who, I mean, it's okay if you don't, for whatever your reasons are, to want to divorce me. That's fine if that's what your voice is telling you and you're not happy, but to want me to be a mistress and stalk me and break into my house and creep around my house at night and vandalize my house, pour oil inside my food pantry, and leave my old driver's license under a mat just to scare me to death to let me know he was in the house. And the list goes on. There's some psychological issues there, and I know that I called this in. It's been 20 years with somebody that I had no idea he was like this, and he's also on drugs, so he won't get off of them, and they are prescribed, but his brain is just going. And I realized that I really, out of all this horror, the blessings have been that I've healed my relationship with my parents, that I realized what happened when I was a little girl really was with my parents. It had nothing to do with me. So there have been many, many, many blessings, and I'm a full-time college student as a grandmother now on my second semester. But it's just, it's been really painful, and I'm going to listen to Spirit. If I'm seeing a butterfly landing and I'm told each individual teardrop is a story, then I'm going to write down how I'm feeling every day and try to get it out, because the next day was when I was just writing and it came to me like a snake bites you, the poison of all of this. I just need to get it out, and then to ask God, the divinity, or a power greater than myself, help me to first look through your eyes in this painful situation, and second through my own, and then I'll have so many more perspectives. And so many people medicate, and I want my medication to be writing. My 16-year-old son had said he was crying, and he said that his friends got into drugs, but he got into sketching. He naturally just, he follows what he loves, to draw and to sing and to play guitar, and I thought that is so wise. And what fulfills me is when I write and speak, and God gave me this mouth that chatters away, and I have so much to say, and I love humanity. I kind of feel like I was born into a family to break generations of abuse, and then I married somebody else, and it was sort of like my grandparents' issues that played out through this story in my life. So I'm wanting to really make sure that I do a lot of self-care, a lot of nurturing, and if you have any advice, because I woke up this morning and I was seeing my third lifetime beginning, and the past two marriages were so extremely abusive. First one physically abusive, the second one emotionally. But I'm afraid that I'm going to come home and he's going to be in the house and my children are going to watch him murder me, and I don't want that to happen. And it doesn't matter where I move, he's going to follow me. So I secured my house. I've called in the angels to protect me. I've let the neighbors know what's going on, to please, if you hear me screaming for fire, call 911. I know I'm growing from this, and then I'm going to be helping a lot of other women that don't want to come forward when they're being abused. And it was a lot. It was a lot. And so I realized I must really love myself, and I must have taken in this to call it in. What are your thoughts? Do you have any advice to help me with loving and honoring and on this journey of making sure that this is a priority, so that in 2 years from now, that's when I'll enter into a new relationship? But I want to take 2 years just to focus on having a love affair with me and really trying to heal the wounded child inside with whatever comes up, to deal with it and effectively process it so that I can release it and grow from it. Like the leaves, when they dry up and fall to the ground, over time they turn to mulch and then they feed the tree. I really want to use this mouth God gave me and ask God to help me co-create every area of my life. I feel good when I'm helping other people, but I know I need to help myself as well. And the realization that it's not going to work out is hitting me very hard. He has some very dark intentions of wanting to be with me and other women, and that I'm going to have to take it or back down, because in the past I would back down because the abuse was so bad and it would just stop. And it would give me peace for a little bit, but it was so horrific what I was going through, I couldn't put myself through it for one more second.
Well, first I want to really honor the fact that you're now able to say, hurting myself is never going to bring me to an end that is going to be valuable to my family or to me. Because remember, you as the matriarch of the family are setting the tone for your children, and when you model it's okay to take abuse, then they may learn, well, we can either be the abuser or we have to also accept abuse. So congratulations on really, really getting down deep into a very, very difficult situation, and instead of running right toward shame and blame, you're running toward wisdom. And very few people are able to do that. So please honor yourself for being able to go in the direction of wisdom instead of shame or blame. It is so much easier to get on a path that is self-honoring when we are recognizing all that we've brought to the table, good and bad, instead of when we are either getting out the whip and whipping ourselves, or we are pointing fingers at someone else. Now, obviously, Both of you, you're in a relationship, both of you contributed to the situation where it is now. But blame or shame isn't going to move either of you forward. So the first thing that I want you to do is begin loving and honoring all that you've been able to do. So right now, you have been able to recognize that this is not what you want, that this does not feel good, and that even though you in the past allowed it to continue because the abuse was painful, now you're recognizing that you have value. And so, number one, you are stepping up and saying, I am a valuable being. And what I don't hear you saying, and I'm very deeply grateful, is, and he is not. Now, you're with somebody who has become confused by medication that has gotten out of control. We don't excuse that, but we understand that when someone is not in their right mind, we can't depend on them to make good choices. And when it appears that they are going to take this other-mindedness to the point of abuse, we must love ourselves so much that we step out of the way. This will do a couple of things. Besides saving you and saving your family, it also can act as a wake-up call to that person who has stepped out of reality into a place of confusion. Hey, your behavior is just not okay. Your behavior is really causing incredible hurt in the world, and you're better than that. Now, they may not get to that place. They may not be able to do anything but blame you. I want you to hold yourself and to hold them in the highest place. This does not mean, however, that you take no precautions. So I would change the locks. I would make sure that the police are aware that this is a problem. And I would certainly separate bank accounts, any way in which you can protect yourself, you need to take logical protective action. And I also like the fact that you said you were going to be journaling what you're feeling. However, I want you not to just get stuck, and it doesn't sound like you are. So I don't want you to concentrate on the what's wrong, on the negative, on, oh my gosh, 20 years, I've wasted 20 years, I've been lied to, blah, blah, blah. We all want to run down negative alley. I've been there, done that so many times. You spent 20 years learning. There were many times during that 20 years that things were wonderful. There were also times when they were not so wonderful. Law of attraction says that you will attract to you that which you focus upon. I want this nightmare life that you're enduring right now to end. The way it will end most quickly is for you to raise your vibration from I was lied to, which is a truth, but we're not going to hold on to it, to I can ascend to the highest place of love, joy, and peace and honor myself and all others by honoring my heart and focusing on what feels good to me.
Can you repeat that again? I can ascend to the highest
place of love, joy, and peace.
Okay.
And honor myself.
Okay.
And what feels good to me. I'm going to add
Okay.
to it by focusing on
Okay.
everything that's going right. So here's the difference. If we look at him and his confusion and his inability to be the highest version of himself, we immediately join him in hell. We join him in this lost place of confusion. And then we have two people drowning in the sea of confusion. If you pull yourself into a high place, he may not be able to join you. He may need to spend time where he is before he decides that it isn't working for him. But you will have pulled yourself into a place of clarity and self-love, and you will be a beacon of light for your own family and for others who are struggling. So you
Can
have
I
been
say
brilliant.
something really quick?
Absolutely.
I wanted to give you some validation. It was very, very hard week on me because I've been making police reports since April of 2018. I have over, I think, 15 police reports. But this last week, there were probably 3 or 4 in this week alone. And the police officer said go to the courthouse after I thought they were going to pull guns out on the guy who had my phone and who could see where my 12-year-old daughter was. And I believe my soon-to-be ex-husband took it out of my house and was very reckless with that. And he said go to the courthouse and get a restraining order. So instead of going to college this week, I emailed my professors and said, please do not drop me. I am being harassed and stalked. And I went down the list, and then I am getting a restraining order. And I have my childhood friend, since I was 8 and 9, coming over in the next couple of hours to go over all of the paperwork with me. I've filled it all out. I've gathered all of the evidence and proof of threats and vandalism, and the list goes on. And I want to make sure that I have it right, not only for the court but for each of my children's therapists. And it took a lot out of me because my heart would go into AFib, and I'd have to take my medication to get my heart to regulate, to try to avoid being shocked, and lay down and rest and say I have to keep going because it would be so overwhelming that after 4 or 5 hours of writing I'd have to stop and then look at what the evidence is, what is it that I'd like to say, but what is necessary for the judge are two different things. So I cut my pile in half, and I think I have it all ready, but I might have to do some editing because they want you to attach extra paper to a section, and they want you to title it a certain way and then put it in formally. And she deals with attorneys and lawyers, so she knows what to do here. And I'm going to be going in the morning to seek a restraining order, and have the children be told with the therapist and myself so that I don't say too much or I don't say too little, and let them know that I am praying for Dad, but that right now he's making choices that are harmful to everyone around him, mostly himself, and that I have to parent all of us.
Yes, but see, that's what you need to know, to understand. You cannot parent him. You are not his parent. And so all you can do is pull yourself up into a high place. You can wrap him in a blanket of pink and gold light. You can offer him unconditional love. You can stop engaging with him negatively. Just refuse to engage at all. And put your focus on those beautiful children that are amazing, and talk, think, and focus on everything that can bring you joy so that you can move through this period more quickly with a limited amount of damage. Now I'm going to have to put you on hold. We've got another caller, but I'll come back to you if there's time. Okay, 718. Whoops. No. 718. Go ahead. Is there something that you wanted to share? Caller from 718. Okay, we're not able to hear you. So if there is something that you'd love to share with us, we would love to hear from you. You
Hello?
might have to. Oh, there you go. All righty.
Oh, hi. I didn't know. I thought, because I knew you were talking to someone else. I didn't know you were talking to me. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
I love that your topic today.
Well, I'm so delighted. It is so important. We are not taught, especially as women. And let me just mention, this is not that I want to bash or dishonor men in any way. However, we are coming from a heavily masculine period when women did not honor themselves, and we are entering a period where women are learning to love themselves. And I do ask that we look for balance. So don't go running off into male bashing. The men are here to be the foundation, the structure, and the support. Some of them may not know how to do that. Women are supposed to be the caregivers, the nurturers, the giving birth to the new idea that the male has provided the structure for that new idea to grow. And together, it is supposed to be a perfect whole. So we don't want to get off into bashing anyone, merely to get into the place where we learn to love ourselves. So what can we help you with?
I'm kind of going through, I think, a lot of things that are linked to, like, guilt. Like when you're putting...
Darn that guilt.
Yeah, like, say, when you're putting yourself first, or, I don't know, I think people-pleasing, or just making myself available to other people, or letting people drain my energy, or different things like that. Or sometimes when I say no, I feel guilt, and it's like, why? You know, like, that's not my, like, why am I feeling obligated to please other people and put myself, put me last?
I am so glad you brought this up. I am going to go in reverse like almost 10 years. This is how long it's been. No, more like 15. Mother God wrote to me almost 15 years ago, something that I am still learning today about the difference between selfless and selfish. So, with that huge heart of yours, you are kind of an easy mark for people to, and tell me your name.
Keisha.
Keisha. So, here comes Keisha. She'll do it. We can ask her. She always says yes. Okay. So, like that was like my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally went, and I was so petrified about being labeled as selfish. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a home where that was like the worst thing you could do was be selfish. Now, those were their words, but they didn't model that behavior. So I just was completely confused. What are you supposed to do? Well, as the empath in the family, I can feel all of you think I'm the weirdo.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And you're
I'm
very,
one.
right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Very disappointed in me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't know where I fit, who I am, or why the heck I'm here. Right. So, fast forward my 20s, I started exploring the paranormal. I got a little support, but okay, real world re-enters. got to get a real job and do something, that's just
Right.
get, follow the rules. You've got to make those other people happy. So now
Right.
we got to go forward another 25 years of disaster until I finally am recommitting to this journey in a way that speaks to my heart. And I am having daily sessions with Mother God. And at this point, I can only write maybe a quarter of a page, maybe half a
Mhm.
page.
Mhm.
Now I could go on endlessly, except my hand hurts. So, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can do all this. Look at me. Those little tiny notebooks. I can fill up a page in the small little notebooks. And she sits me down one day and she says, Marcia, your entire problem is that you do not understand the difference between being selfless and being selfish. And I said, oh,
Mhm.
yes, I do. I really do. I'll do anything for anybody. I'm not selfish. And she's just like, oh, child. And
Right.
then she begins to explain to me, when you are truly selfless, you allow yourself first to connect with us. You fill up with that divine love, with that unconditional energy of love, joy, and peace that will absolutely allow you to receive everything you need. You fill up first, and
Yes.
then from your overflow,
Yes.
you give to anyone who's willing to receive. Selfish is when you give from yourself without first connecting, because once you're empty, you have nothing left to give, and all of that dependency that you've created, now you've got a trail of dead bodies. Yourself, and then all those people that you have created a dependency with, because if you're saying to them, I'll do it, you're not teaching them how to do it. You're teaching them to depend on your ability, your broad shoulders, your good heart.
Right.
When you connect first with God, their wisdom flows to you and through you, and you're sharing them with others. And God doesn't teach dependency, God teaches independence, and you're raising them up to where you are, to this beautiful high place. And now we have all these beings of love that can contribute instead of one servant who's being exhausted.
Right. Well, how do you do that?
How do I channel?
No, no, no. How do
Oh,
you? Yeah. How do you connect with God?
okay. So let me check our time, and then I'll
Okay.
help you.
Okay.
All right, we've got a few minutes. So
Okay.
one of the most wonderful ways that they have shared with me, they are my guides, my helpers, and you
Uh-huh.
have them too. Absolutely everyone. There is no one, I don't care how dark a life you're choosing to live this lifetime. You have
Right.
helpers, and they do not leave you. They may have a difficult time communicating with you because you're not listening, but they are still there trying to assist you.
Right.
So, one of the ways that is most helpful that they have shared with me is something they call heart breath. So, heart breath is we're breathing in through the nose, and hold on just one second. Okay, we have a new caller.
Oh,
Let me explain heart breath, and
okay.
then I'm going to have to hop over to the new caller. So,
Okay.
new caller, hold on. I want to acknowledge you. We're running out of time. This has been fabulous. I so appreciate all of you. So, heart breath, breathing in through the nose. And if you were able to see the path the breath was taking, it would go into the midbrain area which is where the hypothalamus is, the pineal gland, the
yeah. Mm-hmm.
corpus callosum. So you've got this whole area that is there for the purpose of communicating with the divine. It's your psychic receptor center. But when we were more animalistic, this center was huge and very active. As we became more technologically and focused and more brain focused, we became less instinctual and more thinking, and we added pollution and chemicals, and now this area can be a little dense. It can be coated over, not really supple. So heart breath, when you breathe in through the nose,
Mm-hmm.
breathing in the unconditional love of God, you begin cleansing and nourishing this area so it becomes more electrified, more elasticized, and it's easier for you to receive communication from the divine. Now allow it to go down through the chakra systems. I call it the rainbow chute. Just go from that midbrain area right down
Mm-hmm.
to the back of your heart. And then as you are exhaling, you want to exhale from the back of the heart forward. Now, obviously, I know we can't really do this physically, but this is an energetic exercise. And as you are breathing, exhaling out this
Mm-hmm.
unconditional love, give permission for the pain, for the resistance, for the devaluing to be released from your heart. And it's going to give you that sense of, ah.
Okay, so you're saying, so when you breathe in, let it go up to your pineal gland, and then as you're still holding it, also go down through your chakras. Then go, I guess it maybe come back up to your heart, and then that's when you release it. And
Release
then,
through the heart, and it just creates an open space. It creates a space of receptivity, and then turn your attention inward and connect with the divine through the heart. Use the heart. That is everyone's connection point. Everyone has it. Again, it can be reduced and become quite small if you're not paying any attention, but that's where your connection, your communication is going to come. And everybody has a way to communicate with the divine. So it may be
okay,
hearing, seeing, or feeling, but it will be the thing that you do naturally. Don't make it
okay,
hard. Let it be
okay.
easy.
Well, I'll
All right.
definitely try this. Thank you so much, and see
You
how
are
this
so
goes.
welcome. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, 831.
Yes, hello. Hi, I was disconnected and I was calling back. I was the caller
Thank
before.
you for calling
And
back.
I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry. I thought, oh, this is great. I wrote it down, breathing in through the pineal gland, down through the chakras and out the heart. And I wanted to give you some validation when you were speaking to me earlier about what you felt with the situation I was describing. You gave me validation because I had that talk where I said, you're better than this, and if you decide to get off the narcotics, I can give you phone numbers. Would be able to roll up my sleeves, and you need to go to counseling by yourself and value in yourself, because you're not, and you cannot value me or anyone that you love unless you first value yourself, and that my love is unconditional, but I cannot allow you to treat me this way, and our children are watching, and I'm shaping their moral character, and I only want the best for you. And it was very heartwarming, but he doesn't he's not wanting to do that, and I'm
And
having
honor
to
that.
make my
No,
yeah.
right. You
I
have to
love how
honor
you
that.
said think of it as 20 years of learning. Because
Yes,
when I have
honor.
the painful thought come up, I don't want to stuff it down. So what I do is I say, this is gold. Okay, so this is what's coming up that hurts. I write it down, and then I say, okay, now help me please to look first through your eyes, second through my own. That doesn't take away from any of this, but what is the miracle? What is the hidden blessings? And suddenly there are so many other perspectives that I have to write down that help me to actually effectively release it, and then something else will come up. And I'm realizing that if Spirit is going to take the time to come to me and show me a butterfly and to let me know each tear is an individual story, then I know that that's my medication. Okay, I know I love to talk and write, so every time I'm hurting, write it out and tell the little girl inside you're going to be fine and you're loved and protected, and that I value you and I love you. And then ask God, help me to look first through your eyes, second through my own. What am I not seeing here, and what are the miracles and the blessing in this? And then so I can talk about forgiveness but not condoning. And I've been closing my eyes to it on purpose, because I really wanted it not to be that way. But my inside would tell me no. They would come up, the truth would come up, and then I would listen to him. And I learned to always listen to your inner voice, no matter what someone is telling you. If you feel
Absolutely.
it's something's not.
Now, honey,
Yeah.
we are almost out of time, so just let me share this one thought with you, because we're actually over our time. Let me share this one thought with you that I see that you're doing, which is so important. Take your eyes off the mistake. And always, yes, you write down, hey, this really happened. We don't want to sweep it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen. We want to look at it and do something of value to make the situation better. But please don't look at what's wrong. After you've written it down, after you've acknowledged, hey, this really doesn't make me feel good, look at what does make you feel good and go in the direction of what feels best. We don't need to point fingers, blame, shame, or correct anyone else. We merely need to honor our own heart and our own well-being, and that's going to lead us into the place of peace and joy. And whenever he's ready, that will be available for him as well. We do not let others abuse us or take advantage of us, but we don't need to bring anger into the situation or hatred, or stay out of the negative. Understand that this is happening. This is for real. I can't just turn the other way and wishful thinking. That's not healthy. I am in a situation that is abusive. This person is out of control and they're choosing to stay that way. I get it. However, I'm going to take this positive action and look for the blessing. And that is so beautiful, and I'm so grateful that you have been able to do that. Now, that's all the time we have today, everyone. I want to thank you all. And next week, I'm just going to give you a little heads up. If you get on my mailing list, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be sending out, remember, 90 days of affirmations. So my mailing list is Marcia, MARCIA, at marciamartinthehearthealer.com. I will be sending you out 90 days of support on my YouTube channel, same name, Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. I explain the 5 reasons why affirmations may not be working for you. And now you are going to receive in your inbox 90 days of support, because I want you to feel better about you. So it's going to take 30 days to change the habit of looking at what's wrong and changing it to looking at what's right. Then the next 30, getting used to really seeing yourself as this brilliant being of right. And then the final 30 will just be like putting it on like clothing. Of course I am this valuable, worthy being. So if that feels good to your heart, join my mailing list and just open the Patreon community. Again, Marcia Martin, thehearthealer.com. We're on Patreon, and I am putting in for just Tier 1 is the only one I have open at this time. I'm just giving you some additional tools and techniques as my guides share them with me. So everyone, thank you for this incredible love that you've brought to the show today. Thank you for sharing, and please remember, you've got to recognize what's happening and then find the blessing within if you're going to be the highest version of yourself and live in that place of love, joy, and peace. So until next Sunday, I'm sending you all my love.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests, and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.